Hi! In this video, we'll learn how to create and animate vector drawings in Alight Motion. Vector drawings are composed of points that are connected by curves to create contours. They have an advantage over raster or pixel-based graphics in that they can be scaled to any resolution cleanly. We'll first design a simple coffee cup and then take what we have learned to animate a hand swiping on a smartphone. If you would like to follow along, you can download the project packages from the link in the description. First, we'll design this simple coffee cup to show how easy it is to create vector drawings in Alight Motion. Our starting project only contains this background layer. Let's add a vector drawing layer to our project. When the layer is added, we can see all the tools we need to work with vector drawings. Most importantly, the control pad and the contour scroller. We'll talk more about the contour scroller later. At the center of the preview, there are crosshairs that we can move by swiping on the control pad. Let's move the crosshairs and tap the control pad, or the Add Point button to add a point at that location. We can then move to another location and tap to add another point. A line will be drawn between these 2 points. Now, with our finger on the control pad, let's create a third point. We can see another line has been drawn, and the area between the points has been filled in. Let's add one more point to finish our cup shape. At this point, we can draw another line to the first point to close this contour, or we can tap the Close Contour button to connect the first and last point automatically. Let's now tap the back button to stop editing our vector drawing. This shape will make the base of our cup. Let's go to Color and Fill and change the color. Let's duplicate the layer and change that layer's color as well. We'll use this duplicated layer as an accent layer for the cup. Now that we have some vector drawings, let's learn how we can edit them. Let's tap our accent layer and then Edit Points. The points we just drew will become visible. We can reposition these points to make a different vector shape. Let's select a point to edit by either tapping on it or using the lasso gesture. We'll talk about the lasso gesture more later. When it turns green, you can use your finger on the control pad to move it into a new position. Let's tap on this point and move it as well. You can see we've now added a small accent to the cup. If you would like to add more points to an existing vector drawing, you can use the contour scroller. When you swipe up or down, the green dot will move along the contour of the drawing. When the green dot is on a point, the position of that point can be edited by swiping on the control pad. When the green dot is between points, tapping Add Point will create a point at that position, and swiping on the control pad will create and position a new point as well. You can delete any extra points by tapping the Delete Point button while a point is selected. By doing this, you can create your own accent for your cup. Now, let's create a curved lid on the top of the cup. Let's add another vector drawing layer to our project. First, let's position the crosshairs on this corner and tap to add one point. Move above the center of the cup to create another point, and then finally to the other corner to create a third point, and close the contour. Let's tap on the top point. It will now be highlighted in green. Then tap the vertex type icon to add Bezier handles to the point. You can adjust these handles individually and move the point to create a rounded design. Using the steps we outlined before, we'll make a simple accent design on the lid as well. First, let's change the color to match the cup, and then duplicate the layer and change the color of the duplicate. We'll make a simple design here. but feel free to do your own. Now, let's very quickly add a straw. Let's add another vector drawing layer to our project. Add 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. Now, go to Border and Shadow and enable the stroke and adjust the stroke width. Let's also change the colour. Next, let's go to Colour and Fill and tap the None icon to remove the fill. Now, move this layer to the bottom to hide it behind the cup. Congratulations! You've made a vector design in Alight Motion. Now that we know the basics of working with vector drawings, let's get started with our main project, a smartphone swiping animation. This time, our starting project has a reference image visible. We need to draw a thumb and then the rest of the hand separately. We're going to start tracing the hand as vector drawings. Feel free to follow along or use the drawing in the project packages provided. We're just going to quickly use the steps we've covered above. We now have our thumb and our hand layers. It's not easy to see the detail in the thumb, so we need to make the thumb a little distinct from the other parts. We can do this by enabling the stroke, reducing the stroke size, and changing its colour. Now we have our completed hand drawing. In this project, we have a hidden layer that we haven't mentioned yet. If we unhide this layer, you can see a vector drawing of a phone that was also designed in Alight Motion. Let's place it in between these two layers so that the thumb is on top and the rest of the hand is behind the phone. It should look like the hand is holding the phone. Let's now make a swiping thumb using vector animation. First, tap on the thumb layer and then Edit Points, and then tap the keyframe icon at the top of the screen to switch to keyframe editing mode. While in keyframe editing mode, you won't be able to edit the points themselves, but you will be able to edit their animation. Note that on iPad and Mac versions of Alight Motion, keyframe editing functionality and point editing functionality are both available to you at all times without switching modes. Let's encircle all of the points we want to edit with the lasso gesture. All of the points we have selected are now green. If we tap the Add Keyframe button, we can add a keyframe at the current time for all points together. The overlapping keyframes on the layer indicate that multiple points have keyframes at this time. It's important to note that while points can have keyframes, Bezier handles can have them as well, but they cannot be selected with the lasso gesture and must be selected individually. Let's add keyframes for the handles we wish to animate now by tapping the handle and tapping the Add Keyframe button. Let's now move the playhead to where we'd like to end the animation and add the same keyframes over here to create a loop. We can do this the same way we did the previous keyframes. In our loop, we want the thumb to move downwards in anticipation, then perform the swipe upwards, and then come back to rest before the end of the loop. Since we've added keyframes to every point and handle we wish to use, Alight Motion will automatically add any new keyframes as we edit. Let's move the playhead forward to where we'd like to start the animation, and use the control pad to move the points downwards. Don't worry if the thumb doesn't look perfect right now. We'll adjust that later. Now, let's go to where we'd like the swiping animation to end. Select and move the same points upwards. Again, you can see that new keyframes are automatically added for all the changes. We want the thumb to stay in the upwards position for a little while. So, let's move forward one keyframe, where the points have roughly the same position. Select the same points again and tap Add Keyframe. We can then long press on the keyframes on the layer and move them to where we'd like the thumb to start moving downwards again. If we look at our thumb animation, We can notice that the shape of the thumb is not quite right in some places. That's okay though, because we can go through and tweak each point and handle as needed, and new keyframes will be automatically added. Feel free to take some time doing this. If you don't get it how you want it at first, you can always undo back to where we defined the keyframes for the loop, and try again. You can also look at the sample projects we've provided to help you. That's all we need to do to create our thumb animation. Now, let's add some simple elements to the phone screen to make the thumb look like it's swiping through content on a web page or app. In the project packages we have provided, we have an element with some simple lines and boxes. We're going to move our playhead to the beginning of the project and add this. But you can add photos, videos, text, or anything else you'd like. When the thumb swipes upwards, we want to move the element layer to move up on the screen as well. With the element layer selected, let's tap Move and Transform, and at the beginning of the swipe, add a position keyframe. Go just beyond the end of the swipe, and move the element layer upwards. Let's also add the easing preset shown, so the motion will slow towards the end, like what happens on an actual phone. Let's play our animation. You can see when the thumb swipes, the elements move up. There is one issue though. The element is visible outside the area of the phone, and not just on the phone screen. We can fix this by masking the element layer to fit the phone screen. Add a rounded rectangle to the project and make it fit the phone screen. Now, long press on the thumbnail of the rectangle layer until it turns green, and then tap the thumbnail of the element layer. Both of these layers have now been selected together. In the green bar, tap the group and mask icon to mask the element layer to the shape of the rounded rectangle, and press play. We've completed our swiping animation. As you can see from this example, Alight Motion has the ability to create versatile vector drawings and animations. We hope that you enjoyed this video and hope that you will show us your vector creations with the hashtag #AMVectorAnimation. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask in the comments. We'll do our best to help in any way we can.